Hi Floss 2, it's the Zen Stitcher here on the 2nd of September, Labor Day weekend, and I'm happy to be back for what I'm calling my mini episode number 1. This won't be a long video, but primarily I'd like to do some follow-ups on some topics I covered in the first 2 videos, and then prepare for my longer video on new topics and so on later in the week. So I haven't been with you in a while because it's summer and I was traveling a little bit, so that kind of threw my schedule off somewhat. But B, I spilled water on my laptop computer, and I'm still sort of dealing with the fallout from that. I do have a functioning computer. They rebuilt it for me, but we're still trying to retrieve the data, and that's been a little bit of a frustration and unfortunate event. Yeah. So, but anyway, I'm back. I can use my computer now for internet, and fingers crossed the data can be retrieved. Thank you to all of my viewers and all of you who have subscribed. And thanks so much for all of the nice shout outs that I've received. That was really unexpected. Sandy Bakos and Broadway Stitcher both gave me a shout out, and that was really very lovely. I'll link their addresses below so you can check them out. They're both relatively, excuse me, new. Excuse me. They're relatively new to Flosstube as well, so it's really fun to be in a group of new Flosstubers. Broadway Stitcher is also in New York, so that's cool. And I'm finding that there are some other Flosstubers in New York too. New, but that's exciting. What a fun way to connect with some new Stitchers. So, let's see. Oh, I wanted to follow up on my Firefly comments. Many of you commented that you have fireflies in your neck of the woods as well, which is really exciting. So I just did a quick little search on Google about fireflies and found that there are over 2,000 species of fireflies in the world. Who knew? I never knew that. And there are a few places in the world where the fireflies will actually coordinate their flashes. And that is really cool. So one such place is in the Great Smoky Mountain National Park. And I'm going to clip a little, or not clip, but post a link to the article I found about the Great Smoky Mountain fireflies. So that's really cool. Anyway, fireflies are gone for the summer, and now we're approaching fall, and I couldn't be happier for some cooler weather. It's been very hot here in the Northeast, in New York City, some really hot and humid days. So I am looking forward to some cool fall crisp weather, as I'm sure most of you around the country are. The other thing I wanted to follow up on was a little more information about Whitework and sort of my preparation to work on Frances Cheney at some point. So a few people commented on a Whitework sampler that is in the a few issues of the Samplar and Antique Needlework Quarterly that is no longer published, but there are some really great patterns and charts in there, and one of them is of a Whitework sampler that's called the Millennium sampler. It came out in 2000, and this was designed by Sharon Cohen. Really beautiful. I mean, I would love to do this one as well. It's really fun. There are mermaids and Adam and Eve and a snake, and then here you can see one band says 2000, which of course I would probably change to whatever year I end up stitching it. Should I get to stitch this? I mean, it would be really cool. Anyway, that's a really fun Whitework sampler if any of you happen to have back issues of SANQ. And I will post below. That's what the front of this particular issue looks like. This was part 2. But I'll post the issues below that have this particular sampler charted. Another Whitework sampler that someone mentioned was Elizabethan Treasures by Lansberry. And that is also, I don't know if I can really get it in it better. Anyway, this is another good sampler to practice Whitework and Cutwork and pulled thread, drawn thread techniques. I actually started this sampler. I guess I don't know if I would call this a sampler, but anyway, I started this piece and then had to abandon it because when it came to doing the pulled work and drawing the threads out and then reweaving on the side, it became very fuzzy and I didn't like the way that looked. So I abandoned that and I am going to purchase some different fabric to see if that will work a little bit better. But anyway, I'll show you what my start looked like. And oh goodness gracious, that's not good. Let's see. Okay, maybe you can kind of see. I know there's casting a shadow on it. That is the very first, oh, sorry, that's the first section on the left side of the piece. And this is really beautiful. I really, really enjoyed doing that. It's mostly, I guess you would kind of call that satin work. And some pulled work. So, and in this is where I ran into trouble here in this section. So on the sides here, what you did is you would pull the threads out and then weave them back in the sides, and especially over on this area here, and I don't think you can see it, but it was not weaving back in very nicely, and I felt it looked really fuzzy and not so clean and crisp as I wanted it to look. So I think if I choose a different fabric, I'll have better luck with that. So it's okay. I can use this fabric for some other project, and I think what I'm going to try and do is somehow rescue this piece here, this section anyway, that I already stitched, and make something out of that. Maybe a small pin cushion or something. So that's another sort of piece that I plan to do and practice on before I get started with Francis. And then this summer when I was away, I stopped in Stitchville, yay, in Minnesota, and I picked up this book on Whitework, and this is from the Royal School of Needlework in the UK, and there are lots of really good diagrams in here, and there's good discussion about the different techniques. Satin stitch here, eyelets, let's see, a section about drawn threads. So I think this will, oops, there we go. I think this will be a really good sort of reference and yeah, reference book that I can use in many different projects or for many different projects. So that was cool. And then I also picked up another little pattern called the Whitework Keepsake box. This is by Samplar Works, and I thought that would be a really good kind of project to practice on as well before I embark on my bigger project. So just wanted to follow up and share those things with you. Let's see. Oh, the other stuff I've been stitching on this summer, I may have mentioned in my last episode about the round robin that I've been working on, sponsored by Country Stitchers. And that's been really fun. So I am going to actually insert a picture over here of some of the pieces that have been in my round robin. It's been a really fun project, and it's just so interesting to see not only how the group, my round robin group, what they've created, but there's also an Instagram hashtag that all the other round robin participants have been posting on. So I'll post that below, and you can check out all of the different round robin projects as well if you're interested. Let's see. I've been doing some other stitching that's been non-sampler stitching. I have a little project that is all French knots. I'll show that in my next video because I'm not remembering the designer off the top of my head, and I don't have it here to show you. And I haven't been working on my book cover or my Amy Mitten sampler, so those have been sort of put by the wayside. But I did start a new sampler, a really pretty new sampler called Edsina Peters 1816, and this sampler was also in SANQ, an issue of SANQ from 2005. So I'll show that in the next, I guess, in the next video as well. But if you want to, you can follow me on Instagram, and I've been posting some of my progress on Edsina there. I'm also participating with Senorita Stitcher on in a I don't know what you would call it. I guess it's not a group, but it's a hashtag. I don't know. It's a thing called September Sampler Soiree, and I'll post that in the comments below as well. So if you want to follow that hashtag on Instagram, you can do so and see other samplers and what other people are working on. That just started on the 1st of September, so that'll be fun. And I think what I'm going to do there is actually cycle through my samplers. so that I make a little progress on the ones that I have started and kind of close to finishing, actually. So it might actually get me over the finish line. So that's it for today. I think I hope to be back in another week, and fingers crossed that my laptop data will be fully restored and I'll have all my photos back, and I think that's anyway, computers, they're really crazy. So hope you're all enjoying your Labor Day weekend and you're getting lots of stitching done. And thank you so much for viewing and watching and subscribing. And please leave any comments below, and or ask me any questions. I'm really happy to have you here, and grateful for your interest in my stitching projects. All right, we'll talk to you soon. Bye.